Yep. So let's start with the adulterated petrol that really set the country, a little bit on fire, kind of, just so to speak. The news and the experience from the importation of adulterated petrol caught Nigerians aback, really. But isn't it unbelievable that in this age and time, our country cannot ensure quality control and effective monitoring of fuel importation?
Yes, really disappointed as a nation, and I feel sad that despite the fact that there's not less than 10 layers of quality control at the NNPC that should check and ensure that petroleum products brought into the country are of the highest quality. This has happened. It's such a massive shame because these off-spec products naturally shouldn't be able to escape the scrutiny of all the testing mechanisms, procedures, and protocols put in place by the NNPC. So what are those testing procedures, mechanisms, and protocols for if they will not be seen to do their job diligently and without compromise? So if more than 10 layers of quality control could be compromised, then I fear for the future of our nation. I really fear for our nation. Corruption is not just going to destroy Nigeria, it's going to destroy us as individuals. Because, as I said on Journalist Hangout, what if it was aviation fuel that was imported into this country and it turned out that the aviation fuel imported was of unwholesome quality, and an aircraft, the commercial airliner, ingested this unwholesome jet fuel? Of course, the implication of that is known to everyone. The aircraft will certainly come down and people will lose their lives. Methanol is an additive that is used in the production of gasoline. % of ethanol to be added into petrol. But this particular one, this particular unwholesome product has not less than 20% methanol. 20% methanol added to it. So you can see that it's not even a marginal increase over the accepted level. 20% of methanol added to PMS when what is prescribed, what is permitted is just between 2 to 3%. You can see why that petrol was as bad as that, looking dirty, looking brownish, some of it looked like coffee, black coffee. So it's terrible. But unfortunately, as is always the case in Nigeria, we will hear that heads will roll, but in the end, heads will not roll. And NNPC, in my view, is not best placed to mete out punishment. So when the president says punish the importer, and the president gives that mandate to the NNPC, I see some unseriousness here, because in my view, the NNPC is not best placed to punish anyone for this. Anybody could bring in product, but there ought to be quality control. Whatever is brought in must pass the test of quality by put in place by the NNPC. And I'm saying that there are not less than 10 layers of quality control protocols, quality control procedures put in place by NNPC that were breached in this case. The only way this can happen is if corruption permitted it to happen. So it's just unfortunate. And if we do not punish those who brought this unwholesome petrol into our country severely, then you can be sure that it will happen again. The reason crime is walking on two legs in our country is because we rarely punish crime. We rarely punish inequity in our country, especially when crime is committed by rich and privileged people. It rarely gets punished. Even if it gets punished, it is usually like a slap in the wrist. Somebody steals so much money and put the lives of people in jeopardy, but what do we see? He gets a life sentence. He gets a life sentence that amounts to a slap in the wrist. So given NNPC's record as a cesspool of corruption, I do not see anything worthwhile coming out of this. And the House of Reps too says is going to investigate, is going to probe what has happened. What has happened to the probe instituted by the House of Reps and the Senate in respect of the Niger Data Development Commission, NDDC. What has happened? All of the suggestions that they came up with, the recommendations that they came up with, the president refused to implement. And Akpabio is still running the NDDC with a sole administrator, whereas the act setting up the NNPC does not even envisage the possibility of a sole administrator, not to talk of an interim management committee. But we've seen Akpabio use not just interim management committee, but a sole administrator to run the NDDC against the law establishing it. And nothing has happened about this. I hope they can just go ahead to prove me wrong, but I don't see anything worthwhile happening.